a story about The Rock, which is like, hey, Rock, we want you to talk politics. You're famous. You got 500 million followers on social media. Why are you not bashing Trump? And The Rock's like, dude, let me just do my thing. Leave me alone, man. Let me just go out there and do my, what is the show and the cartoon and all this stuff that I'm doing. Yeah. Why are you bothering me? Let me live my life. Nope. We need you to criticize. So let me read this to you. Hollywood stars began lashing out at Dwayne Johnson on Monday after he reiterated his stance to keep his personal politics out of public eye after telling Esquire earlier this month that he hates the slinging of modern politics. Star Trek alum George Takei and Stand By Me actor Will Wheaton took to social media to slam Johnson, with Takei arguing that his silence makes him complicit. The Rock's recent comments to Esquire about wanting to keep my politics to myself has divided fans, with some calling his silence, Takei wrote on Threads. He then replied to his post on Monday, writing, "Silence is complicity." Wheaton also called out Johnson in a thread post, later deleted, that was reported by Entertainment Weekly, writing, "So disappointing to find that he is such a coward." However, some came to Johnson's defense online, including comedian Matt Rife, who took on X to mock Wheaton's coward comments. "I love how he's a coward, but could quite literally tear Will's throat out through his asshole," Rife wrote on a Wednesday, adding, "This internet joke, comment world is so bold." The controversy stems from Johnson's Esquire interview for the magazine's summer 2026 cover story. The actor, known for starring in the Fast and Furious franchise as well as Jumanji films, explained why he'll be keeping his political views private from now on. "What I learned through experience is that I need to not want the main thing, I said. And the main thing for me is the thing that in the morning I swing my legs out of bed and I run towards is creating. It's art, it's storytelling. I've learned I'm going to keep my politics to myself." Good for him. What do you think about what
All right, guys, let's break this down. The conversation opens with a backlash against Dwayne Johnson for refusing to make politics part of his public identity. Instead of applauding someone for staying focused on his work, critics immediately frame neutrality as guilt. That alone says a lot about today's culture. The hosts highlight how celebrity status now comes with political expectations, whether someone wants them or not. The real debate isn't about The Rock's beliefs. It's about whether public figures are still allowed to simply entertain without being pressured into picking a side.
he said here?
Listen, Pat, I'm for someone that was in Hollywood and learned really, really quick, you open your mouth or you say something funny. I said something about, because this was, by the way, I was in during 2016, 15, I was going on stage and I was making funny jokes. I was seeing Trump. By the way, I never cared about Trump. When I saw Trump at the Apprentice, you're fired, I always just be like, yeah, whatever.
Ryan.
So I went on stage and I would be making jokes. I got off stage and the owner of the comedy club, and I'm not going to say who it was like this, "Hey, you can't be going up there and talking positive about this." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" I go, "I thought this was a comedy club." So I wasn't getting stage time because I was talking positive about Trump. So that being said, it could ruin your entire career, because this game, and we all know this, Pat. Oh, also this, I went to get a comedy booker, a person to book me for comedy, and they were like, it came to see me. Headline, crushed it, standing ovation. I went for the gusto. You know what he said? "Yeah, I can't sell you. You're not mainstream." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I go, "I'm Middle Eastern. I ethnically ambiguous. I could play whatever." They're like, "Yeah, you're a Republican." Literally said that, and this is a big comedy booker, manager, agent, whatever that you want to call them. And I realized it. Either you go, listen, either you're political or you're not. This is a business decision, and good for him, because once you go full, you know what I mean? There's no coming back. Once they label you, Pat, especially Hollywood, it's over for you.
What do you think? What do you think?
Because I think he's one of us.
What
Pat,
do you think Rock is deep down inside?
If I had to bet all my money, he's one of us.
I think he's a center-right guy.
Absolutely.
Who's socially maybe liberal or whatever, but I think that the guy's a capitalist.
He's
he lives like a capitalist.
Man.
He lives like a conservative. Now leave him
man.
alone.
Yeah.
And by the way, I respect the hell out of him for doing this. Good for him. Let him go create his art, and I hope eventually he chooses to run. But I don't think he's done creating.
The discussion shifts from theory to personal experience as one host explains how political labels can quietly shape careers behind closed doors. Stories about comedy clubs, managers, and Hollywood gatekeepers reinforce the argument that public opinion isn't always what determines success. Industry perception often does. The Rock's decision suddenly looks less like avoidance and more like calculated self-preservation. The conversation even drifts into whether he could one day enter politics, showing how one interview sparked far bigger questions than anyone expected.
I don't think he's done creating. I think, what is Rock's age, by the way? How old is The Rock? Is he in his 40s? Is he in his 50s?
No, he's got to be in his 50s something. Yeah.
Well, good for him, man. He looks great. So he's in his 50s, 54 years old. Look, when that age hits 6, and you want to kind of go and, be a trifecta, because he's going to be a billionaire. He's the biggest superstar, bigger than Arnold ever was. Okay, so if he's a billionaire, Arnold never became a billionaire. If he's a superstar and he becomes a president, then he officially becomes one of two. You know why he becomes one of two? Because it's him and Trump.
Yep.
Trump was a billionaire, superstar on TV, and he goes and becomes a president. Mm-hmm. It could only be two of Rock's, and he's in the camp with Trump. He could pull it off. But take your time.
Yeah.
Pick your time. Adam.
I think Rock, at the end of the day, he's just a talented dude. I don't think he wants to be in politics. You interviewed him. You had a great interview with him. His story's amazing. His relationship with his father, his ex-wife, everything that he's doing. I think Rock, at the end of the day, the one thing that he wants to be? I think he wants to be liked. I genuinely believe that. I think when he was younger and more of a football player and a wrestler, he was clearly more pro-America, conservative type values. Then he got into Hollywood. And I think at one point he had to literally put on a dress. He had to see that side of the things, right? Twinkle, twinkle, that whole situation. I think Rock is someone who doesn't look in terms of politics and divisiveness. I think he's generally a synergist. I think he's the type of person that any reasonable person on the left or on the right says, I like The Rock. Now, if you're a hardcore person on the right, you're not going to like The Rock. If you're a hardcore person on the left, if you're a weak coward like this guy calling out The Rock, who would never say anything to his face, calls him a coward, you're probably not going to like him. But at the end of the day, Rock is a likable guy, and he will be a billionaire, and he loves America. That's what it comes down to.
Let me tell you, to say he's likable would be an understatement. To say he's likable, I learned so much about the guy when we had him at the Vault 2 years ago. Based on, he says, Pat, whatever they're doing, let's you and I talk. And we would talk on Sundays like, okay, are you good with this? Are you good? He said, Pat, I'm good with that. Okay, great, let's go. The interview. No, we need it to be cut down to 20 minutes. Rock's like, let's talk. We talked on the phone. He's like, no, I'm good. Let's release it. Boom. Great. I learned so much about how he deals behind closed doors. Like, this Republican gubernatorial debate that we did?
Yeah.
I learned about every candidate, not on stage, behind closed doors, how they were. You'll learn about them behind closed doors. And then you give them props in front of everybody to showing up, which they did.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot about The Rock, dealing with them behind closed. I was very impressed with them.
What was the one thing that you remember about dealing with The Rock? What impressed you the most?
He's a guy. He's a man's man. He's a freaking dude you would like. He's like...
He's a G.
Yeah. And by the way, at the highest level, I mean, it would be an understatement. He's a capital G. Is what he is.
But by the way, we got to give a shout out to The Rock.
He's got very personal charisma when you meet him.
He talks to Dylan. He talked to the kids. He talked to everybody. He's cool.
Can we give a shout out to The Rock's low cousin, Matt Sapala? Can we do that?
So fun. You are so fun.
Instead of focusing on politics, the hosts begin painting a picture of who The Rock is when the cameras aren't rolling. They describe him as professional, approachable, and someone who treats everyone with respect regardless of status. Those behind-the-scenes stories carry more weight than online speculation because they come from direct experience. The commentary quietly argues that character is revealed in private interactions, not social media debates. By the end, the political controversy almost fades into the background, replaced by a discussion about reputation and authenticity. The serious discussion gives way to a promotional segment centered around 4th of July offers, merchandise, exclusive rewards, and opportunities for viewers to engage directly with the podcast team. It's a sharp pivot from political commentary to business, but it also highlights how modern media blends conversation with community building and marketing. The hosts wrap everything together by rewarding loyal viewers while encouraging deeper participation beyond simply watching the show. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.